Good day, everyone, and welcome back to class. In this lesson, we'll be looking at the literary appreciation of the African Prose Second Class Citizen by Uche Emecheta. Second Class Citizen is an African prose which talks about the life of a character named Ada. It symbolizes or explains our struggles, victories, as well as losses in the battle called life generally. And the story opens up in segments. We have Ada's early life. Ada is born in Nigeria during the Second World War, and despite societal expectations which prioritizes boys' education, Ada is determined to go to school. She was so determined that she left home one day and just entered into a class and sat there. Mr. Okoro's class. She didn't know what to do, but she just sat because she wanted to just go to school. Her mother was devastated because she was asked to drink garri without anything as a punishment for allowing a child to leave her premises without her being aware of it. And her persistence pays off because eventually she wins a scholarship to a prestigious boarding school. Despite how hard and everything that happened when Ada's father died and Ada's mother had to be married, Ada was still focused. She was so focused, and this made her victorious because she became educated. Even though she was favored as in comparison to boy who is her younger brother, but Ada was still able to get the education she desired. As a teenager, Ada marries Francis Obi, a young man that is studying accounting. Ada and Francis have two children, Titi and Vicky. Ada supports her family financially while Francis decides to move to England to study. So still Ada that finances this traveling. Eventually, after years, Ada joins Francis in England with their children, only for Ada to find out that life in England is very challenging. Francis lives in a poor condition, and Ada has to join with her two children in the same room with Francis. Over there in England, Ada faces racial and gender discrimination from both the whites and as well as the blacks that were supposed to be her family. Despite these obstacles, she remains determined to improve her situation. Ada's relationship with Francis becomes increasingly strained due to his controlling and abusive behavior, because Francis believes that Ada is not bending to his will. So Francis hits her sometimes, emotional abuse, physical abuse. All these things was what Ada experiences in her marriage to Francis. Despite this, she continues to work hard, eventually securing a job as a library assistant. Even before Ada secures a job as a library assistant, she made sure that she makes herself happy despite all odds. When Ada wanted to give birth to her fourth child, it was really, really strenuous and painful and traumatic. So when her fifth child came, she decided for herself that she's going to make it as memorable as possible for herself. So she prepared everything, even prepared a courier service to come and deliver flowers to her in the hospital. So despite all, Ada continues to work hard and it pays off for her. Ada also writes a novel She calls the novel The Bride Price. And this made Ada to ultimately decide to leave Francis so she can build a better life for herself and her children. Quickly, we move to the characterization in the novel. The first character, who is the protagonist, is Ada Obi. Ada is a determined and resilient Nigerian woman who dreams of a better life in England, despite facing numerous challenges, which include racial and gender discrimination. She remains steadfast in her pursuit of education and independence, despite having so many challenges in even getting a better space for herself. Ada is someone that never gives up. Ada's character embodies strength, perseverance, and struggle for self-identity. She wants to know who she is, she wants to know her value, and she eventually found it. We have the next character, Francis Obi. Francis Obi is Ada's husband. He portrays as a controlling and an abusive husband. Despite showing a manly front, Francis struggles with his own insecurities and frustration. Francis believes that because he is black, he cannot do some things. He is restricted. Despite being in an accounting school, he believes it's not his duty to be the best in his class because he is black. Now, he takes all these insecurities and frustrations on Ada. His character highlights the oppressive gender dynamics and the impact of social expectations on personal relationships. We move to the next character, Mr. Noble. Mr. Noble is a fellow Nigerian immigrant, just like Ada and Francis. He is a friend of the couple. His character represents the challenges faced by immigrants in adapting to a new culture while trying to maintain their own identity. Mr. Noble is constantly in war with adapting to a new culture. He struggles with the food in England, struggles with the weather in England, struggles with the discrimination that comes with the old blacks. We have Trudy. Trudy is the landlady who rents room to Ada and Francis. She and her husband does not have a child, and they tend to use this frustration on Ada because Ada keeps giving birth. In the novel, their interaction with Ada reveal that they have racial prejudice and there is a cultural misunderstanding that immigrants often encounter in England. And Trudy does not like Ada's inquisitive character. She believes that there are some things left unexplained and unproved. Pa and Ma, these are Ada's parents. These characters represent traditional Nigerian values, their expectations and societal norms that they uphold plays a very, very significant role. Now, Pa believes that educating a female child is a waste because she will end up in the kitchen. But eventually, the two agrees to take Ada to the school because Ada was so persistent and insistent. And this eventually helped Ada. Mr. Okpara is another character in the novel. Mr. Okpara is Ada's teacher in school who recognizes her potential and encourages her to pursue her education. He supports Ada so well during her early years, and his support is very helpful and is a constant reminder of Ada to achieve her dreams. He was always giving Ada thumbs up, or was always making sure Ada sees the fact that he's proud of him. Mr. Cole is another character. Mr. Cole is a Nigerian librarian who helps Ada to secure a job in the library. His character represents the supportive network of fellow Nigerians in England. Yes, he portrays the networking. You know, Mr. Cole sees Ada as a helpless lady who needs a job and helps her. Bill is a character at the library who becomes a friend and a confidant for Ada. Despite the fact that Bill is not from an immediate community, their values and their beliefs align so much that they became friends. Janet is a social worker who helps Ada when she decides to leave Francis. Janet's character represents the institutional support available to women when they face domestic abuse. The importance of this support to women, to changing the lives of women positively. Boy is Ada's younger brother who stays in Nigeria. His character serves as a reminder that gender equality is important, because, and also it also states the fact that cultural ties is also important, because Ada maintains communication with Boy despite a physical distance from home. That will be all for today. In this video, we covered the summary of the prose work, Second Class Citizen by Buchi Emecheta, as well as the characterization in the prose work. See you in the next tutorial video. Have a lovely day.